call to order, but if you wouldn't mind putting up the accessibility statement for me? Oh, thank you for making that large. This meeting is accessible to people with disabilities. Microphones or telephones will be used by all speakers. Large print materials are available upon advance request. If you would like either of these accommodations, please contact Mary Waldron at 508-583-1833. The notice of non-discrimination rights and protections to beneficiaries with regard to the federal Title VI / non-discrimination. Okay, protections in the state non-discriminating protections is posted in this meeting room. It is available on the Old Colony Planning website. Please contact Mary Waldron at 508
583-1833.
Yeah, I just gotta shut off that phone. Sorry about that. At this moment, I'd like it if we could just have a moment of silence for long-standing member Frank Staffier, who I just had the opportunity, being on the council now, to really get to know. And I will really surely miss that gravelly voice. And just a great guy that he was. Moment of silence, please, for Frank. Thank you all. And does anyone have any information on the arrangements for Frank at this time? There he is himself.
All that face.
All right, I would like a if you wouldn't mind, Bill, and call to order the attendance.
Yes, ma'am. Abington.
John Stone.
Alternate.
Thank you. Avon. Bridgewater. Brockton.
Patrick Hill.
Thank you. Duxbury. East Bridgewater. Easton.
Greg Swan.
Thanks, Greg. Halifax. Hanover. Hanson. Kingston.
Here, delegate.
Thank you. Pembroke. Plymouth.
Rick Bossy.
Thank you. Plimpton. Stoughton. West Bridgewater. Whitman.
Here.
Alternate, present.
Thank you. Brockton Area Transit.
Michael Lambert and Kelly Forster.
Thank you. Gatra. MassDOT District 5. And MassDOT Office of Transportation Planning.
MassDOT Office of Transportation Planning. This is Chris Clem.
Thanks, Chris.
Sorry, Bill, it's Barbara LaChance. I'm here.
Uh,
I'm trying to get to my mute button over here. Thank you.
No worries. I've been there. All right. Thank you, everyone. We're all set, Madam Chair.
Thank you all. Item number 2, which is public comments. We have any public comments at this time?
I noticed Don Howard is running for something.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I saw the political signs up.
Oh, good for him.
I usually run for water commission.
Water commissioner.
But he's actually got campaign signs out.
Oh,
Wow.
thanks, Bruce. Now I'll look for those. Any other public comments? All right, move on to item 3, which is the minutes of April 3rd, 2025 meeting. If you have any additions, revisions, or if I have a motion to approve.
Motion, Dan Salvucci.
Thanks, Dan. A second to that motion?
Second.
Okay, thank you, John. Minutes, I'm gonna take a roll call with that. Do we roll call for that? No. Okay, roll call for the minutes. Bill?
Yeah, sure thing. Abington.
Yes.
Alternate.
Avon. Bridgewater. Brockton. Duxbury,
Brockton,
Bridgewater?
yes, I'm sorry, I was muted.
No worries. Duxbury, East Bridgewater, Easton,
Present.
Halifax, Hanover, Hanson, Kingston,
Yes.
Pembroke, Plymouth,
Yes.
Plimpton, Stoughton, West Bridgewater, Whitman,
Alternate, yeah.
That's,
and Brockton Area Transit,
Yes.
Gatra, and MassDOT District 5,
Yes.
and MassDOT OTP.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
thank you all. Thank you, Bill. Move on to item 5. Nope, sorry, move on to item 4, which is communications, and that would be Sean.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. The first item on the communications packet for this month is Massachusetts Walk, Bike, and Roll to School Day. It will be held next Wednesday, May 7th, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Join schools across the Commonwealth and participate in the final Massachusetts Safe Routes to School flagship event of the school year. Either Wednesday, May 7th, or any day in May that works for you. The event is held on the first Wednesday of May every year. If you would like more information, please visit the hyperlink in the staff report. The next item is Avon intersection improvements at Route 28, Spring Street, and Harrison Boulevard. A virtual design public hearing will be held Wednesday, May 21st at 7 p.m. and it will be hosted by MassDOT to present the design for the proposed project. If you have any questions or comments, you can submit them to Carrie E. Lovely, the Chief Engineer, at the email address listed in the staff report. And for information on the virtual design public hearing, visit the hyperlink in the staff report. Next item is in the town of Stoughton, intersection improvements at Canton Street, Route 27, School Street, and Summer Street. And Cushing Street virtual design public hearing. It will be held Tuesday, June 3rd at 6:30 p.m. The proposed project consists of the reconstruction of the intersection of Canton Street at School Street and Summer Street, as well as the intersection of School Street and Cushing Street and the roadway segment in between those two intersections. For more information on the design public hearing, please visit the hyperlink in the staff report. Next item is a fiscal year 2025 Safe Streets for All Notice of Funding Opportunity. There are 2 grant types available. One is planning and demonstration grants, which can be used to develop, complete, or supplement an action plan, as well as implementation grants, which are used to implement strategies or projects that are consistent with an existing action plan. The deadline for applications is June 26th. 2025 at 5 p.m. They must be submitted via Valid Eval, an online application portal. And the USDOT will host a series of webinars to review pertinent components of this year's NOFO. Please visit the hyperlinks in the staff report for more information. The next item is the Culvert Replacement Municipal Assistance Grant Program. On March 27th, Massachusetts Division of Ecological Restoration announced the opening of the Culvert Replacement Municipal Assistance Grant applications. The applications are due by May 12th, 2025 at 4 p.m. For more information, please visit the hyperlinks in the staff report. The next item is a Federal Funds and Infrastructure Office announcement. The next Federal Funds Partnership meeting will be hosted May 27th at 2 p.m. A newsletter will be released ahead of the meeting with new grant opportunities, as well as other helpful resources and information. To register for the Zoom meeting, please visit the hyperlink in the staff report. The next item is our OCPC flyer for Bay State Bike Month. We have 3 events that we'll be hosting this coming May. The first one is this Saturday, May 3rd, over in the town of Easton. Pedal Through Time at Borderland State Park. It begins at 9 a.m. The following Saturday, May 10th, we will be hosting our cycle through Old Colony with Untold Brewing at their location inside Cordage Park in Plymouth. It will start at 11 a.m. And then lastly, our annual Bike with Bat event, Bike with Bat at the Brockton Area Transit Intermodal Center, Thursday, May 15th from 6 to 9 a.m. And here are the flyers I know we have an agenda item later on in this meeting that we will be presenting on that, so I can revert back to these flyers during that agenda item if necessary. The next item is South Coast Bikeway Alliance flyer, their 2025 summit. It is May 13th at 6 p.m. at UMass Dartmouth, the School for Marine Science and Technology. Refreshments will be served and registration is requested. For more information and to register, visit southcoastbikeway.com or scan the QR code on the flyer. The next item is a community walk audit from Walk, Massachusetts. It will be held May 21st from 10 a.m. to 11:30. It'll be a 1 mile walk starting at the Montello station at 150 Spark Street. If you have any questions, please contact Leonardo Spinola at ispinola@walkmass.org. And here is the flyer in other languages. And that is communications.
Thank you, Sean. Anyone have any questions for Sean? Hearing none, I'm going to move forward to item 5, which is reports. First item is Brockton Area Regional Transit Authority, BAT. Mike?
Thank you, Chair. As usual, we'll begin with ridership. We have our April numbers for fixed route, hot off the presses, finished at right around 320,000 trips. We are closely aligning toward our target of 4 million trips this year, but it will be an interesting finish to see where we end up. This is also budget season, as most of you know, so we are watching happenings on Beacon Hill and Capitol Hill very closely. Just want to offer a quick thank you to Mary Ellen, who will be updating you after me, who has been representing the transit agencies down in DC and doing some great work, particularly around her planning for the World Cup transportation, which is coming up. So far, indications are good coming out of Beacon Hill for our funding, but we are, of course, being conservative in our budget planning. Should funding be available, we'll be looking to enhance first our Sunday fixed route service so that it can match up with our Saturday service, and also expanding Rockland Microtransit to cover Sundays as well. I mentioned this last meeting, but we're also in testing phase for our overnight employment transportation program that is offering a $9 per trip subsidy for people who use Uber to commute between the hours of 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. anywhere within our service area. So that will be open. We'll just post the application. That'll be open to anyone who, as long as their trips meet that criteria. So stay tuned for that. We'll certainly be looking for help in terms of outreach for that program. That is my update.
Thank you. Mike, just one question. When you said 320,000 trips, is that for 1 month?
1 month, correct, on our fixed routes.
1 month.
So Bridgewater State and our fixed route. So
Wow. Congratulations. That's great.
Yes. Thank you.
Item B, which is the Greater Attleboro Taunton Regional Transit Authority, GATRA, and that would be Mary Ellen.
Thank you very much, and thank you,
Uh-oh.
Mike, for those kind words. It is budget season, and that seems to be what we're all focused on. It is very heartening to see the Senate supplemental that came out today, which I think will help a lot of us address some of the cost increases that we're seeing that are beyond our control on capital, and allow us to continue the aggressive capital plans that I think all of us recognize we need to do to stay in a state of good repair. So I am hoping that we end up with somewhere close to the Senate version of the numbers when all is said and done. GATRA is continuing to see slow but steady growth in our ridership across all of our service areas, and are constantly reassessing where we can add in service time as we get vehicles and drivers on. I think the challenge that we all face is there's just not enough drivers out there. So we are always looking. If you know anybody, I'm sure BAT would also take them if they live in Brockton or if they live south of there and want to come work for us. But you know, the workforce development is going to be a key to how we are all able to move forward with these expansions that we're looking to see across the region. And as Mike mentioned, just not that it impacts you directly here at this MPO, but just so you are aware, next summer is the World Cup at Foxborough. And as I pointed out yesterday down in DC, everybody calls it the Boston World Cup. Funny little fact, it's in Foxborough, not in Boston. So it will be played at Gillette Stadium. And they will have 7 games there. And we're anticipating the need to move right around 30,000 fans to and from the stadium in a 2-hour period for those 7 games. So that is what we're working on here at GATRA.
Thank you very much, Mary Ellen. Any questions for Mary Ellen?
I have no question for Mary Ellen, but I just want to acknowledge, and I know we're probably about 2 months since it happened, but when the South Coast Rail had its grand opening, it was pretty amazing to see those electric buses, Mary Ellen, moving people in and out, and just a great day for the South Coast, but also to see the capacity of GATRA. So thank you.
We were happy to be there and happy to, as I pointed out, connect BAT, SRTA, and GATRA all through these trains now. So and now you can get to the Vineyard in Nantucket. So it's really connecting the whole region.
Amazing.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions for Mary Ellen? Right, I'm gonna move forward to item 6, which is old business. And it's item A, which is the 2025 to 2029 transportation improvement tip implementation. And we'll be discussing amendment 4, the public review and comment, and that would be Bill.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So as you may recall, I sent out a notice a couple of weeks ago for Amendment 4, being released to a public review and comment period by the Oconee MPO. That review and comment period is open right now. If you want to go to the next page. So this amendment removes project the project in Brockton, the intersection improvement project at Route 123 and Plymouth Street. This is this project was not going to be ready for advertisement this year. So this amendment removes this project from programming in FFY 2025 and will place it in FFY 2026 in the new tip, which is also currently up for public review and comment period. Doing so allows these funds to be freed up to be used elsewhere. So I'll entertain any questions or comments on this, and otherwise I'd ask for a vote for approval by this board.
You need an action item on this, Bill?
Yes, please.
Okay, can you just form the motion? Just to include, are we including the amendment and moving it over to another fiscal year? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, so it's just to approve the amendment. So I would ask a delegate to make the motion to approve this amendment, which is removing this project from programming in FFY 2025, and with the understanding that it's programmed in FFY 2026, new tip.
All right, so
I'll make a motion to approve that. Pat Hill from Brockton.
do we have a second to that motion?
I'll second Dan Salvucci from Whitman.
Okay, and we're gonna take a roll call on this, Bill?
Yes, ma'am. Abington?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Avon? Bridgewater? Brockton?
Yes.
Duxbury? East Bridgewater? Easton?
Yes.
Halifax? Hanover? Hanson? Kingston?
Yes.
Thank you. Pembroke? Plymouth?
Yes.
Plimpton? Stoughton? West Bridgewater?
Stoughton, yes.
Thank you. Whitman,
Alternate, yes.
thank you. And Brockton Area Transit,
Yes.
Gatra,
Yes.
thank you. And MassDOT District 5
Yes.
and MassDOT OTP.
Yes.
Thank you. We're all set, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you all. We're gonna move on to the next item, which is new business. It's the draft of the Safe Streets for All SS4A Vision Zero Action Plan. And we'll have a presentation in 21-day public review and comment period, and that is by the Beta Group.
Yes, hello, thank you.
You're welcome.
Austin, is
Yes.
Austin able to share?
Yep, I'm gonna
Okay.
send a request to share.
Great,
Welcome, Jacqueline.
thank you. Happy to be here. I'll just introduce myself while Austin's starting to share the presentation. My name is Jacqueline Centracchio. I'm the project manager for this very important project at Beta Group, and Austin Pizzeni is my co-presenter. Also, Jeff Maxtudis and Anna Sangri are with us if anyone has any questions that they can help answer.
Everyone see the slides?
I do not.
They were up for a
Yeah.
second, but I don't see them
Oh.
anymore.
Interesting. Let me try one more thing.
There we
How does
go.
that work?
Now.
Okay,
There we
cool.
go. We got it. Okay, we can already move on to the next slide now. So here's just a quick agenda. We are going to highlight our public engagement process that has occurred since we last met with you last summer. And we're going to discuss some of the key elements of the draft plan, and then we're going to talk about the schedule and the next steps. So since we last were in front of you, we had a robust public engagement process. We launched an interactive dashboard for public comment. We did receive over 150 comments, so we think of that as a big success. We spoke with each of the 17 OCPC communities, and that there were about close to 100 representatives overall that we had met with. We also, again, as I said, presented in front of the JTC and also the MPO. In December of 2024, we had a virtual public meeting, and during that meeting, it was pretty fruitful. We had live survey interactions with the participants. What we heard through the public engagement effort were several concerns, safety issues that occur today. The list of common concerns are presented on this slide, but the key concern by every community was speed and also distracted drivers. Excuse me. OCPC developed a goal for achieving Vision Zero. Vision Zero is a strategy to eliminate all traffic fatalities and severe injury crashes. OCPC committed to a 20-year goal, which will bring us to 2045. The goal was developed by mapping past crash trends and analyzing necessary crash reductions. The table shown on the slide outlines the Vision Zero evaluation for fatal injury crashes. As you can see, it's shown in 5-year increments all the way down to 2042 to 2046, where we anticipate the zero roadway deaths and injuries. Austin's going to talk a little more about the additional elements of the plan.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Yeah, so I'm just going to run through a couple of the figures and tables that you will see as part of reviewing the plan. So on the next slide. So this is a map that you'll see in the plan that shows all the top projects region-wide and also per municipality in the region. So in the orange color, you will see our top 50 projects that we've identified as part of this plan. In the blue, you also see additional plans that we've identified for each municipality as part of the plan. So here are some example tables that you will see in the report. So at the top, you'll see a table for our top corridors. So this is an example from Brockton, which is the Pleasant Street and Court Street corridor, from Spring Street to Montello Street. And you can also see some critical information about the corridor, such as the total injury crashes, the fatal and serious crash types. And we use these fatal and serious crash types to develop countermeasures for each corridor, which you can see on the right. We also took information from the TIP and also any recent road safety audits to develop those countermeasures as well. On the bottom, you'll see a similar table, but this is for intersection projects. So our number one example being Purchase Street and Turnpike Street in Easton. And you'll see the same sort of information with the total fatal and serious crashes, the crash types, and also countermeasures that we'll develop for that as well. So this is another example table from the report, which is going to be part of our recommended policies and strategies. And these address the parts of the safe system approach, which are safer people, safer vehicles, safer speeds, safer roads, and post-crash care. This is just one of the elements of a safe system approach, our policies. So safer people, one example being coordinating with MassDOT to spread the word on the Eyes Up, Phones Down campaign to reduce distracted driving, which we've noticed being a big concern through many comments from towns and cities. And then another key part of our report is the progress and transparency section. So I just wanted to identify the second box there, which is identifying key performance measures to track progress towards Vision Zero. And some of those key performance measures can be seen at the bottom. So we're looking at rolling 5-year averages of serious and fatal crashes, as well as measures of implementation of the projects and strategies that we've outlined in the plan, as well as the projects implemented in environmental justice communities, which you identified as part of the plan. And there's also a couple of other elements reporting annually and also updating the plan as necessary in the future. And with that, I will pass it back to Jacqueline to talk about schedule.
Thanks, Austin. So since we last met, we did come a long way with our schedule and met all of our timeline goals. As shown on the schedule, the April to June period is the draft to final plan stage. The draft has been prepared and contains all of the components of the process. The action plan is in the review process and it'll be formally submitted at the end of June. The plan will be used for communities to seek the implementation plan funding through SS4A. For the next steps, the 21-day public review and comment period for the draft began April 15th. The period ends May 16th. At that point, all comments will be given to Beta and we will prepare the final draft. The June 17th MPO meeting is where the vote for endorsement will happen. We thought that giving a little bit of guidance on what to focus on might be helpful if your time is limited, as the document is filled with almost 100 pages of information. Some of the questions to ask would be, do the top locations make sense? Are there locations that we might have missed? Do you agree with the countermeasures? And are there any additional countermeasures you would like to see for specific project locations? And, ask if you agree with the OCPC policies and strategies recommended in the plan that Austin had highlighted some of on his slide. Here's the lovely picture of the cover page of our plan. To the right, you will see, if you click the SS4A link below, you'll go to the review comment site, and all the way to the right of the comment plans is the OCPC action plan. So if you click on that, offer any comments to Bill McNulty, and we'd appreciate your feedback. That's about it.
Okay.
Any questions?
Well, I don't have a question, but I'd just like to go on record as noting that it's been a true pleasure working with Beta Group on this plan. Thank you for your professionalism and your thoroughness throughout the process. And as you noted a couple slides ago, you met all the deadlines, which is obviously awesome. And really, it's been a real pleasure working with you all on this.
Thanks, Bill. Same.
Maureen, you there?
Thank you. Yes, great presentation.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Beta Group.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. I'm going to move on to item B, which is the appointment of the nominating committee for Old Colony JTC offices for 2025 to 2026. So if there's any sort of, motion on the floor, someone who would, be interested in being on the nominating committee. This is how we usually do it, right, Bill?
Yes, ma'am. So typically, so at this time, we'd ask for at least 3 volunteers to serve on the nominating committee. It's a pretty light lift. So you can, in the past, have just opened up the meeting a little bit early, and you can talk amongst yourselves, and you can decide to nominate whoever you wish as chair and vice chair for the upcoming 2025 26 2025 to 2026 term. So
I can do it, Bill. John from Abington.
thanks, John.
You're welcome.
You have a couple more?
Can I nominate Pat Hill?
Second that.
Okay, John and Pat, and how about
We need, usually we have 3, right,
yeah,
Bill?
we usually have 3, yes.
Yeah. How about anyone from BAT? I know you have a lot of time.
Sure,
Yeah,
happy to help.
Thank
okay,
you. All right,
Mike.
we have a
Mike.
committee.
Okay, great.
Just to let the committee know, Dan Salvucci, I'm interested in staying as vice chair.
Yep. And unless you're sick of me, I'm interested in staying as the chairperson also. All right, we can
right.
move on.
Thank you.
We can move on to the next item. Thank you all. Item C, which is the draft of the 2026-2023 Transportation Improvement Program TIP. And it's the 21-day public review and comment period, and that would be Bill again.
Yes, ma'am. So as you all know, the draft 2026 to 2030 Transportation Improvement Program has been released to a public review and comment period by the Old Colony MPO. This is kind of an exciting plan when you look at those numbers at the bottom of your screen. $300 million in roadway and bridge projects, so 17 road projects and 4 bridge projects, and $70 million to Brockton Area Transit for capital investment and operational assistance. So that's it's the best of my knowledge, is the most robust tip that we've ever had in terms of investment value, and so it's very exciting. We'll go to the next page. So this is a table that's directly out of the tip, but this shows how that highway and transit funding is broken down by category for the 5 years of the TIP program. And I can just go quickly year by year and show you what's in the plan, at least on the highway side. Next. So in FFY 2026, we have the Route 123 at Plymouth Street project that's moving out of 2025 and will be programmed in 2026 in Brockton. And in Abington, we have the intersection improvements project at Hancock Street and Chestnut Street. In 2027, we have another Abington project, improvements on Route 139 at Chestnut Street. Avon, we have improvements at Route 28 at Spring Street and Harrison Boulevard. And I'll note that there's a public review a virtual design public hearing for this project in a few weeks on May 21st, I believe. So I'd encourage anyone interested to attend that. OCPC will be attending that. And also in 2027, we have intersection improvements in Brockton, the Lyman Street, Grove Street, and Summer Street project, including the replacement of the Grove Street Bridge. In Duxbury, we have the first year a program for multiple years of advanced construction, the Powder Point Bridge replacement project. Moving on to 2028, we have in Abington, intersection improvements at Route 18 and Route 123, and Brockton, intersection improvements at Route 123 at Pearl Street and Stonehill Street. In Duxbury, the year 2 of the Powder Point Bridge project. Excuse me. In Abington and Brockton, I'm sorry, in Kingston, Duxbury, we have the ramps project, Route 3 and Route 3A. And that is advanced construction, so that's year 1, year 2. And Stoughton, intersection improvements at Canton Street, at School Street and Summer Street. Moving on to 2029. And Bridgewater, bridge replacement for the Vernon Street Bridge. In Brockton and Abington, the pedestrian and bicycle improvements along Route 123. This is year 1 of it, advanced construction. In Duxbury, year 3 of the Powder Point Bridge. In Kingston, Duxbury, year 2 of the ramps project. East Bridgewater, intersection improvements at Route 18 and Island Street. In Hanover, the Route 139 corridor improvements in the center, the Main Street, Silver Street, Spring Street. In Kingston, the bridge replacement for Smith Lane over Route 3. In Stoughton, intersection improvements, Route 27 at Park Street and Turnpike Street. And moving on to 2030, year 2 of that advanced construction project for Route 123 in Brockton and Abington. And Duxbury, intersection improvements at Route 53 and Franklin Street. Year 4 of the advanced construction projects for Powder Point Bridge in Hanover. Intersection improvements at Columbia Road, which is Route 53 and Broadway. And in Whitman, advanced construction for corridor improvements on South Avenue. So that'll be the first year of phasing for that project. And so that is the tip. So that's the highway side. As I mentioned, transit side, whereas I don't have the individual investment line items included in this report. That includes capital investments such as vehicle replacements and maintenance, and then operational assistance.
Thank you, Bill. Any questions or comments? Do you need any sort of action item on this at this
Yes,
time?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So I would ask this committee to approve this draft tip as presented, and so we can move forward to MPO in a few weeks for potential endorsement.
Do I have a motion on the floor to approve the draft tip just presented by Bill McNulty?
So moved, Dan.
Okay, second that?
Second.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, all in favor, Bill, roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Abington,
Yes.
Alternate.
Avon, Bridgewater, Brockton, East Bridgewater, Easton, Duxbury.
Easton is a yes.
Thank you. Kingston, Pembroke, Plymouth,
Yes.
Plimpton, Stoughton,
Yes.
West Bridgewater, Whitman.
Yes,
Thank you. Brockton Area Transit,
Yes.
Gatra,
Yes.
and MassDOT District 5,
Yes.
and MassDOT OTP.
Mass OTP, yes.
Thank you.
thank you all. I'm gonna move on to item D, which is the Bay State Bike Month, May 2025, and that's Kyle.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Welcome.
So yeah, Sean, if you want to just go back to those flyers, I'll run through each event. So yeah, our first event on is this Saturday, May 3rd. It'll be at Borderland State Park. The ride will be about 5 miles. Registration is required, and this is in partnership with DCR, and New England Mountain Bike Association, as well as Smith Farm, which is located within Borderland State Park. And the staff of the park will take bicyclists on a guided tour of Borderland with various stops throughout the park to discuss the history and significance of each location that we stop at. If you would like to attend, you can scan the QR code on the flyer. And then the next event is being held in Plymouth at Untold Brewery. We'll be partnering with 3 local businesses to celebrate Bike Month. So Untold Brewery will be hosting the event at their tap room in Cordage Park. And their bike club, they'll be hosting 3 different rides. The first one will be a 3-mile ride along the Seaside Trail, aimed at, this is more for families and beginners. Then there'll be a 13.5-mile ride through Plymouth. And then there'll be a more experienced 24.5-mile ride that cuts through Miles Standish State Forest. Sirius Cycles will also be a sponsor of the event. They're a bike shop located on Route 3A. They'll be offering a free rider support just to make small adjustments to bikes, offering free air for tires. And then food is going to be provided by Hefe's food truck. They'll be offering some delicious tacos as well as churros. And this event also requires registration, which is you can use the QR code on the flyer. And then our final event on May 15th is Bike with Bat. We've been doing this event since 2014, with only missing 2020 and 2021 due to COVID. Light refreshments for this event will be provided by Lady C&J Cafe, which is located inside the Bat Center. And we'll also be having, in attendance will be a special guest, Sebastian St. Hubert, and he's going to be attempting a Guinness World Record for biking from Boston Common all the way to Times Square in New York City. So he's attempting to do that in under 10 hours. And those are our 3 events, and I hope we see everybody there. And then we will also be having our Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee meeting on the 21st of this month as well.
Thank you, Kyle. That's very exciting. Any comments or questions of Kyle? As far as location, where to show up or anything like that? No? Well, I hope everyone has a chance to do that, because it sounds like a lot of fun, and I love Untold Brewery. I love that name. Yeah, sounds like fun. Thank you so much, Kyle. Great job. I'm gonna move on to item E, which is 2024 Measures of Effectiveness Report, and that would be Sean.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Every year, ever since 2020, we have been doing a Measures of Effectiveness report. It was recommended from our second to last certification review, and this is going to be a presentation on the recently completed report for calendar year 2024. So measuring public participation, as I stated previously, it was a recommendation from the 2019 certification review by FTA and Federal Highway, with the first completed report done for calendar year 2020. The MOE report analyzes our public outreach as well as measures the effectiveness. And by tracking our public engagements, the MPO can determine if its efforts are delivering the desired results or if slight changes need to be made to try to increase public engagement. So the 5 measures of effectiveness are meeting attendance, which range from any of our public meetings, JTC, MPO, council meetings, etc. The number of limited English proficiency / Title VI protected class encounters, which for our region includes Spanish, Portuguese, and Haitian Creole populations. The number of documents translated into the LEP Safe Harbor Clause languages. The number of direct engagements with outside organizations, and then lastly, our number of correspondence, which includes our social media, direct mailings, emails, etc. So for our direct engagement, as previously stated, some of our recurring engagements are our monthly MPO, JTC, and council meetings. And during 2024, some of our other engagements included our public meeting for our Safe Streets for All program, road safety audits that we hosted throughout our region, the corridor studies that were conducted during the last federal fiscal year, our annual Bike with Bat Day, as well as our quarterly Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee meetings. And as you can see from the chart, there's been a little fluctuation over the years. 2023 was slightly higher than 2024, partially with some additional public outreach engagements that we had for our last round of our long-range transportation plan. And then here's a look at our total MPO meeting attendance. We had 10 meetings last year, which is the same as the 5-year average, with an average attendance of 28 people, which was actually 3 people more than the 5-year average for all of the last 5 years. And since February 2020, all of the MPO meetings have been virtual, with the exception of the June 2021 meeting, in which the signatories were present in person at Old Colony Planning Council. Next up is JTC meeting attendance. We had 10 meetings last year, also same as the 5-year average, similar to MPO, with an average attendance of 30 people, which was 2 more than the 5-year average. All meetings have been virtual since March of 2020, with the exception of the June meeting last year, which was hybrid. People who were able to make it to Old Colony were welcomed, and welcome to attend. And for anybody who wanted to join online via Zoom, they were allowed to. And as you can see, in public participation, or JTC attendance has increased in the last 3 years over the first 2 years of the last 5 years that we analyzed in this report, and hope to see a number over 300 for 2025. For overall engagement, this includes both engagements hosted by OCPC as well as external engagements that OCPC attended. And some of the external engagements that staff attended was the Massachusetts Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee meetings, the BAT Advisory Board meetings, road safety audits that were hosted by MassDOT, as well as MassDOT TIP project public information meetings, local select board meetings throughout our 17 communities, as well as Bridgewater State University's GIS Day. Here's an overlook at the OCPC newsletter that's sent out every other week. Started in 2020 during the early months of the pandemic. Recipients include communities, partner organizations, as well as local stakeholders. Last year, we added almost 750 recipients, bringing our total to just under 1,900. We sent just under 37,000 total newsletters, which is a multiplication of the recipients by the number of newsletters sent out. As you can see from the chart, October had the most newsletters sent and open. Just over 4,600 newsletters were sent, and just over 2,000 of them were opened. And then some of our statistics for our social media pages. We had 161 Facebook posts with over 48,000 impressions, which include likes, comments, reactions, and shares. Our X account had 84 posts, and due to some changes with access to the impressions, we were unable to get them for this report. Hopefully that changes for the next update for this report next year. Our LinkedIn account, we posted 18 times with over almost 4,900 impressions, which is the number of times content is displayed on somebody's feed. The Instagram account, we had 123 posts with just under 3,600 impressions, which is the number of times a post or story is viewed. And our YouTube channel had 74 videos uploaded with a sum of 501 views. And then one feature that we've had on our website that we continue to allow, that we continue to have for anybody who accesses our website is our accessibility toolbar. For anybody with any visual impairments, you can change the text size or the contrast. You can turn on readable font, keyboard navigation, and you can also disable animations. And one addition that we added to the report this year was metrics on our surveys. So the 2 quarter studies that transportation staff completed last year was the Route 18 and the Route 139 quarter studies. The Route 18 was in the towns of Bridgewater and East Bridgewater, and the 139 quarter study was in the town of Stoughton. The Route 18's quarter study saw just over 400 surveys answered, all of which were in English. But in addition, we had the survey translated into Spanish, Portuguese, French Creole, and Haitian Creole. And for the 139 quarter study, we had 128 surveys answered. All but one were answered in English, and the one non-English was answered in Portuguese. And the survey was also translated into Spanish, Portuguese, and Haitian Creole, as well as Chinese Simplified and Chinese Traditional. And then outcomes versus outputs. We saw a continued increase in public comments received on our MPO approved documents. And in addition, this year was an analysis of the comments on the Old Colony MPO 3C documents, which included 3 amendments for the 2024 through 2028 TIP. Amendment 2 had 3 comments, Amendment 3 had 2 comments, and Amendment 4 had 1 comment. And then the federal fiscal year 2025 Unified Planning Work Program had 4 comments received during its public review and comment period, as well as the 2025 to 2029 TIP also had 4 comments, and the 25 to 29 TIP Amendment 1 received 1 public comment. And so in conclusion, there were some minor decreases in the direct and overall engagement, as well as MPO and JTC attendance, but the numbers were still, still strong numbers. We saw a very good increase in the amount of newsletters, which partially is contributed to the added recipients being 4 times the amount that were added in the previous calendar year. And we continued in-person engagements with 12 of them this past calendar year, which for due to the COVID pandemic for 3 years, we had all virtual engagements. So it's nice to get back to in-person engagements and getting out to the communities in our region. And that is the summary of the Measures of Effectiveness report. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean. That's just a great way to track all the meetings and everything that's going on. And do you find that, and I don't know if you can answer this question because it's been a while, do you find that more people attend meetings that are online versus showing up in person?
I would say yes, just because if for any meetings that are in person, if somebody wants to come that lives in another town, maybe on the opposite end of the region,
Right.
or if they're stuck at work or if they're stuck at home because they can't find anybody to, if they have children, they can't get anybody to come babysit their kids. They can just hop on their computer and join virtually. So with our virtual engagements, we are seeing higher attendance than in person, just because of the convenience of being able to access it from anywhere rather than having to actually be in person at that event.
Yeah, I find town meetings, they're getting very good attendance too.
Yes,
So they don't have to leave their home and go to the town hall or whatever. So that's great. Hey, thank you. That's a great report.
thank you.
Gives you a bird's eye view of what's going on.
Yes,
with the
absolutely.
region. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for Sean? All right, I'm gonna move on to item 8, which is other business. And it's, the first one is community local technical assistance studies, and that would be Bill.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Just have a couple updates. So we completed a project for the city of Brockton. That was a road safety audit for the intersection of Grove Street or Lawrence Street, just on the outskirts of downtown here. That report has been completed and distributed to the city of Brockton, stakeholders, as well as to MassDOT. And then we have a new request that we're currently working on. That was from the town of Pembroke to do a traffic study of the intersection of Congress Street, which is Route 14, at Taylor Street. Data collection for that project is already underway, as well as an analysis, and I would anticipate this project being completed by our next JTC meeting. That is my report.
Noreen, you're muted. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Any questions for Bill? Or comments? Thank you, Bill, very much.
Thank you.
I'm gonna move on to item B, which are the staff reviews on ENFs, EIRs, and MPCs, and that's Kyle.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we have two new projects. The first in the town of Easton, 642 to 644 Turnpike Street. This is an environmental notification form. This proposed project is for the development of 5.67 acres of a total of 61-acre lot. And in addition to the construction of a small commercial building, there will also be a contractor's yard. Next project is in West Bridgewater, the Green Wave Car Wash. This proposed project consists of the redevelopment of approximately 29,000 square feet of the site, which is a 2 residential lot, with an automated car wash facility that uses a recycling wash water system. The majority of the existing house at 432 West Center Street, this will be removed, along with approximately half of the lawn areas that will become part of an ecological restoration that is approximately 32,000 square feet. And then we have one certificate for the project in West Bridgewater, Sears Street and Norman Avenue. It's the iron and manganese water treatment plant. The certificate states that this project adequately and properly complies with MEPA. And then finally, we just have a few public notices. First, for the town of Duxbury, notice of application and issuance of a draft groundwater discharge permit. This is in regards to the village at Duxbury wastewater treatment facility. And then another one in Duxbury, notice of intent to initiate an ecological restoration project. This is in regards to the Temple Street Dam. And then we have two notices of application and issuance of draft groundwater discharge permits. This is for Plymouth and Kingston. The Plymouth one is for the Plymouth South High School. And then in Kingston, this is for the Silver Lake Regional School. And that is MEPA.
Thank you, Kyle.
Bless you.
Thank you. Any questions for Kyle?
All right. Yeah, Madam Chair.
I'm gonna move on to item
Nope.
C, which are,
I think Bruce has a question.
did he have a question? I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Was he sneezing?
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Hi, Kyle. I just had a quick question. There's been a controversy thing about industrial park in Plymouth, 30 acres clear cut, and it's like tribal lands and stuff like that. You know, I'm pretty good about attending these meetings. Was there an environmental notice for that?
I haven't seen anything come through for that, but I'll keep my eye out.
Yeah, it's 30 acres of land. They're gonna turn it into industrial park. It's gonna have like a couple of lumber yards. It's been lot of stuff in the press about that lately. And part of it was tribal lands, and the tribe down there fought it. And there was a lot of opposition to it, but the Plymouth boards approved it, and it looks like it's going forward. So I suspect if it hasn't already, there'll be some sort of environmental notification on that. So thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bruce. Any other questions or comments for Kyle? Hearing none, I'm gonna move forward to item C, which are regional concerns and local transportation issues. Open up this meeting to anyone who has a comment or a question.
Maureen?
Yes.
Okay, hi, me again. 3 things. I've heard about the South Coast Rail having problems with having enough conductors hired. They've had to cancel trains and substitute buses, so that's one thing. Second thing is I'd like to thank my friend John Stone. There were some questions about the roundabout rotary at the corner of Chestnut Street and Hancock Street at Town Hall. And people, clueless people were finding out about it for the first thing and saying, why weren't there lights and all that? And John answered that pretty good. I was ready to jump in and talk about it being on the MPO, JTC and all that. And the third thing was, unfortunately, yesterday afternoon, I went past the accident at the car versus train at the Center Street Abington Commuter Rail Station. And train was stopped and the street was blocked off, and it was another fatality. And and Abington's had a lot of them over the years, including recently a policeman walking out of a bar and walking out of a bar and into the path of a train up in North Abington Center. So I guess we all have to continue due diligence and work with the MBTA to inform people you just cannot beat a train. This lady apparently ran the grade crossing, gates were down, signals were flashing, train was sounding its horn, and unfortunately she died.
Oh,
That's it.
sad, so sad. Thanks, Bruce. Anyone else have anything? Thanks, everyone, for attending our meeting, and thank you, the staff at OCPC and all the presentations. Another great meeting. And thanks for your expertise, everyone.
Yes, Summer, this is Rhonda from FHWA. I just want to say hello to everyone. I'm new here. I have taken over for Joshua.
Hi, Rhonda.
How are you? Hold on one second. I'm trying to turn my camera on, but for some reason it won't turn on. Let's see.
Oh, we can see you though. You look good.
Well, thank you. I just want you to know that I'm going to be in Joshua's place now. So
Great.
any meetings you all have, I'm going to be here for your meetings. And if you need anything from me, I can probably guide you as far as I can guide you, because you know what's everything that's going on now with the federal government as far as different things.
Right.
So I'll try to keep you guys updated if I get anything. But right now it's just business as usual, and we haven't heard anything about anything. So you all are doing some great things. I see some kudos when it comes to a lot of stuff. So just keep doing what you're doing. And if I get any changes, I'll make sure I let you all know. And I'm glad to be part of the team. So thanks so much.
And
You're
we're
welcome.
glad. We're glad, and we welcome you to be part of our team. This is
Why,
awesome.
thank you.
Good.
Why, thank you. Why, thank you so much.
Mhm.
All righty. That's all I have. And everybody
Okay.
have a good weekend.
You too, Rhonda.
All right. Thank you.
You, Rhonda,
Yep.
and thank
Okay.
you, to Al
Thank you,
from-
everybody.
Thank you,
Motion to
Al from
adjourn.
Senator Brady's office. So I just wanted to recognize Senator Brady's office is on.
Okay.
Oh, great.
All
All
right.
right. We can
Thank
do
you.
adjournment. We can just wave. Have a good weekend.
Okay. You all do the
Thank you for
same.
coming. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, Noreen.